Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today's piece of content is something that I've been genuinely looking forward to making for quite some time now. So just a quick little bit of history about this bag. I saw a review, an early review piece of content from George Defines on this. Shout out to George, his channel's awesome. If you're not watching him already, you should be. And I saw it and thought, that looks awesome. I got in touch with Able Carry, asked if they'd got a review copy. They said that they had. It was in Paris, so we did this little kind of short trip over to me, and that's the original piece of content. So the original piece that I made, when was that? I think that was kind of January time. So that was on a pre-production version. This is a full production version that was, full disclosure, this is actually my version. So I've had this now for about 9 months, and I mean, watch that original review. Hopefully you'll be able to see in the original review, as far as my enthusiasm is concerned, how much I love this pack. It genuinely is one of my top packs, if not my top pack. I really do love this that much. There's very little that I'd change about it. And I thought, after all this time, what would be really good to do is to sit back, kind of reflect on the last 9 months. I'll give you a quick overview of what the pack is and how it works, just in case you haven't seen my original piece of content. I'll leave a link to that here. So we'll have a quick overview, and then we'll kind of look at the areas that I use the most, the areas that maybe I don't use as often, and maybe if there's anything that I would change about the bag, so that you can get more of an idea that, having used this now, exactly what I think about it. Now, just a little bit before I talk as well, and that's mainly around, this is a great bag for travel, due to recent restrictions, obviously because of that C word. I've not been able to travel internationally with this, with my work, but I have still been able to do some traveling, so been able to go and see some clients, have meetings with them, do overnight stays in hotels, that sort of stuff. I have been able to do that with this, but they've been more 24-hour style ones with a sleepover in a hotel that evening. Hopefully, once some of the travel bans, once it becomes easier to be able to travel, then I really would like to make another piece of content with this, just to give you more of an idea of how well I've been able to travel, things like getting through customs, packing the bag, TSA, all of that sort of stuff. But for now, what I'll do is I'll turn the camera around while I'm doing that. If you do like this content at any point, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe. That would be awesome. But for now, let's get the camera turned around and look more at the Able Carry Max. For the overview, as far as measurements are concerned, this pack measures 520mm by 320mm by 200mm deep, which is roughly 20.5 inches by 12.5 inches by 8.5 inches deep. It's a very good size, actually. As far as for EDC and Travel is concerned, it comes in at 30 litres. There are a few different sections on here, but the main volume for that capacity comes in the large main section, where you get a full 25 litres to be able to put stuff in there, and then there are other smaller compartments on here which make up that extra 5 litres. The pack is incredibly tough. The quality of the products that are put into this are absolutely outstanding. So I've used this now. I've not been able to use this every day, mainly because from working from home, I've not been in the studio every single day, but on the days when I have gone into the studio and I've used this, it's constructed from X-Pack material, which is very well known for being incredibly tough. On the areas where they think there's going to be even more kind of hardware, especially here across the bottom, it's made from 1000D Cordura, which is a very well trusted fabric for being ridiculously tough. All of the zippers on here are YKK zippers. All of the buckles are incredibly tough. There are a lot of mag buckles on here as well, which are great and scream out that kind of high value that you get from this pack. The level of detail on this from the box stitching rather than just a simple box stitch. They've gone for this kind of trapezoid shape, which is really nice. From the grips, it is just incredibly very well made and well thought out in the way that it's laid out. Now, just to go quickly through some of the areas on here. On the front here, there is a zip pocket behind this rain hood. You find that this is the main pocket that you can be able to get easy access into. For me, I've been using this to carry things like laptop cables, things that I need to be able to get easy access to when I'm out and about seeing a client. I also find that I drop my car keys in there quite a bit as well. On this here, on the left hand side, there is a zipper that opens up into a bottle holder. The bottle holder is great on this. You can't really carry like a full Nalgene bottle, but if you're out and about and you want to grab, say, something like I don't know, a Coke or a Sprite, these fit really well into here. I've also used this whilst I've been doing stuff to put more electronics in when I'm seeing clients, just to be able to grab that really easily and stow them away if needs be. On the opposite side, there is a grab handle, which again is really useful. The way that they've done this, you can tell that they've definitely tried this out, because instead of just going straight down, it goes diagonally across, so that when you pick this up, it manages to distribute a lot of that weight, so you do pick it up and it's quite evenly weighted when you've got it completely full. Just behind here, there is a double zippered pocket, so whether you prefer to open this up to get in, or you take both of the zips to the top, so keep slipping there, and you prefer to open it down, there's a little secret easy access pocket here that you can put things into if you need to as well. Behind the front easy access pocket, this is where you get access to your main section. Now, the YKK zips on here are the reversed stitched versions, so it just gives them a really kind of smooth, silent open when you get into there. But also they've used these really large, bulky zips, which in the time that I've been using them, have never snagged or got caught on anything. And then each of them have these nice little pull tabs on there, although my hands keep slipping off them at the moment. I think I'm just nervous about making this content. Then they're very, very easy and simple to pull down. At the bottom, you have some of this webbing here, which comes across and acts as like a small stopper to make sure that they're not overstretched. On the inside of here, as I mentioned, this is that full 25 litre capacity. This is my tech pack pouch that I use. That's the Tasmanian Tack Pouch, Tasmanian Tiger Tack Pouch 8, which is absolutely perfect for the style of work that I do. On the inside here, as mentioned, this is those 25 litres. On the inside there are some daisy chains, so that you can use these if you want to add some lashings, being able to tie down some of your stuff. Also on the inside you have these little tabs as well, so if you're wanting to travel with this and being able to pack down some of that stuff, if you're worried about it while you are travelling, you can use these to create some extra lashing points. Then on the inside there's an extra little pocket that you can drop stuff into. On the front there are some extra pockets. There's a mesh pocket here which expands a little bit, and then there is this other pocket which is made from all of the internal material. In here is 400 and what is it now? It's 420D ripstop nylon, which again is just very tough. You tend to find a lot of bag manufacturers you go for something around the 250 mark, so adding or going up and making that up to 420, you know, it's just this bag is bomb proof. One of the things that I've not really mentioned yet is, and that's the weight on this. So for a 30 litre pack, this only comes in at 1.7 kilos or 3.8 pounds. Now, I've reviewed bags that are smaller than this capacity wise and weigh nearly twice the amount of this For travel, it is incredibly light when you've got your stuff out of there. So when you're packing it full of laptops and cables and all of that sort of stuff, it just makes it even easier to be able to carry. So that's that main section. Behind there you have a really nice grab handle. The grab handle on this is huge. If you have large hands, if you're wearing gloves, you can get them in there. It's also nice and rounded. Whatever it is that's in there, it feels like quite a tough piece of rubber or something. It doesn't cut into your hands at all. As an extra point, there is also an additional hanger here on the back, so if you need to use a toilet in a bathroom or something, you can hang it from this, which actually closer to there. Then behind there, which at the top again, they've not scrimped or saved on any of the fits or finishings on here. You have a YKK AquaGuard zipper. This opens up into a kind of an asymmetrical butterfly style. Across the top here, this is where I keep a lot of my electronics that I use for my laptop. I can fit a 17-inch laptop into here. This is a 17-inch laptop with a full QWERTY keyboard, even with the additional buttons on the side. Behind there is an extra slot that I can put in a notebook or a tablet, and then for my line of work, I do a lot of sketching, so I can fit extra pads in there as well. Although the star of the show on this pack really is the whole pack itself. One of the biggest things that I've found that I've enjoyed using this for comes down to the suspension system. There's no sort of revolutionary way in which this is suspended, other than the fact that Able Carry opted to use closed cell foam in here. It's very tough, but also and nice and rigid. But when you've got it on, the closed cell foam just works this strange miracle in being able to mold itself to your shoulders really well, but it also disperses a lot of the weight. Behind there, they use the same closed cell foam in these two strips, so rather than having separate strips at the top and a lumbar section at the bottom, they use these strips that just channels a nice amount of air through your spine, but also leaves a little of a gap here so that air can get into there. Plus, because they're thinking of travel in mind as well, they also have this luggage strap pass through, so that if you're using this on when you're going through an airport, you can put your luggage strap through there. The last little bit to mention, which is one thing that I always forget, is just behind here at the top there is an additional rain hood, which also has this easy access style pocket. So in here, and I'm just trying to get my hand in, so my hand now is roughly there, so you can see how far and how deep that goes in. In that section, it's great to be able to put easy access things, or things that really you want to keep away from prying hands, passports, mobile phones, that sort of stuff if you're traveling, and it is really quite inconspicuous and out of sight. While I'm at it, the other thing that I forgot to mention as well here on the top is that the zip into the laptop section and the zip into the main section all have eye closures on those, so that if you did want to fasten those shut if you are traveling, then you can do that as well. Now, I definitely don't want to do this section as like a pros and cons sheet, because I think with this bag there are very little cons to it. In fact, pretty much none. Oh, that's easy to say. So it's more really of the things that I tend to use the most with it, which is a very short section because I tend to use pretty much everything with this. I like the suspension system. The suspension system's great. That luggage handle style on the side, I didn't think that I'd use a lot, but when you're talking to people, you want to grab your bag, not having to go through the kind of putting it on while you're talking to somebody. You put your laptop, you put your documents, all of that sort of stuff on the inside, and grab it as a briefcase style carry. I just never imagined that I'd do, and it just naturally, or at least I just naturally started to pick it up like that, which I think is great. I think the organisation in that laptop section at the back, especially the sleeve that the laptop slips into, is very good. Now, I tend to find with backpacks where the laptop section is behind the actual main section itself, I don't like them as much. But I think the thing with this one is, with the closed cell foam that's in there, it does a very, very good job of conforming that to your back. And you don't even notice that there's this rigid laptop behind you when you've got it on and you're walking around. I still have my 17-inch laptop in here now, and it certainly doesn't feel like it's in there. There is a backboard in there as well, which you can take out. There's a small zip, and that's easy to remove. I also like the easy access pocket on the front. I tend to find though that I use that less for things like pens and keys and that sort of stuff, and more for just my electronics, and mainly down to for the charging cable for my laptop. There's an area that I'd like to use that in, which we'll have a look at. It's maybe a section that I'd like to change. Being kind of left-handed, I know we've touched on this in the past, swinging that round, I don't have access into that easy access section. It feels unnatural for me to swing it the other way. That is no fault of the bag. Even the fact that I've just mentioned that, I just kind of want to punch myself, because I don't want that to come across as a negative thing, because it kind of isn't. It's just, for me, it's just somewhere that I just have to either put it down to get access to that. Now, as far as sections that I don't really use the most, and again, this isn't a negative point, it's just areas that I've found in my use of this bag that I just haven't used more than other sections. Now, the first one is one that I just completely forgot about when I was doing that first part, and that's this section here on the top. And that's because it's so well hidden. You've got this awesome little pocket that is brilliant for putting cards and your phone and all of that sort of stuff into, but where it's situated, I just forget that it's there, and I don't use it as often. That's also the same. Is it the side? Yes, it is the side. For this, the little section that has this double zip on there. Sorry, that was my error, not the bag's error. And that again comes down to the fact that I just forget that it's there. While I was out filming today, I put my mobile phone in there, and I spent a few minutes trying to find my mobile phone, thinking, where have I put it? And then I remembered that I'd put it in this side section. Again, that's nothing to do with the actual bag itself, and it does a very, very good job of concealing this little side pocket. Especially for prying hands, because the opening of it faces towards you rather than away towards somebody that might potentially want to get into there. But again, just from my use, it's a section that I just haven't used as much, but again, not a negative in any way, shape or form to the bag. As far as a section that I would possibly change, and I had to really scrape for a niggle on this, and that is in this back section where you put your laptop. On the back here, this little zip compartment that I put my electronics into. So in here I've got things like USB extenders, because I travel quite a bit through Europe. I've got a European power adapter for my mobile phone, that sort of stuff. But as far as the depth to this, it's probably only about 4 or 5 inches deep. What I'd love to be able to do is to take the charger for my laptop and for it to be able to sit in that section. Again, I really did have to struggle to try and think of any sort of thing that I would change about this bag. And that's mainly it. Because my laptop's in here, I'd love to be able to store my laptop cable in this back section. I can just put it in front of my laptop. There's no reason why I can't do that, in fact. And I can fit in there where I put all of my documents, and it would fit in there fine. But I try to think, is there anything that I would change? And that really is it. That is all that I would change about this bag. Having this now for 9 months, using it maybe a couple of times a week. There have been some extended periods, you know, where I've been away for business and had to visit the client's premises and stay in hotels and stuff. It's just been awesome. I don't have a top list of bags, and maybe I should. Maybe I really should compile that and make some content on there on the different types of bags that I like. I'm a huge bag nerd and I just love bags. This would be at the top. This is quite possibly the best bag that I've ever tested. And apart from those little niggles with that top bit and, you know, the zip compartments, which really aren't the bag's fault, it's more my fault that I forget where they are, then, you know, that's my own damn fault. As far as, you know, how it's lasted for the last 9 months, it looks brand new. Absolutely looks brand new. There is no difference between this pack when I bought it to the pack now. In fact, if anything, there's just little bits of lint on it that I've picked up from my sofa, and, you know, I know maybe it brushed against one of the dogs, but and I've left it over here. Let me grab this. Sorry. So when it arrives, I love this. Yeah, I like my bags that much. I try to keep them, certain bags, in good condition. It comes in this able carry sack, this big sack pouch kind of thing. So when I'm testing other bags, yeah, I know it's a bit sad, but when I'm testing other bags, I put my able carry Max, my little baby, I put this back into its little sleeping bag, so that where it sits under the stairs, then it keeps in as best condition as it possibly can do. So hopefully, yeah, that kind of shows the enthusiasm I got towards this bag. But yeah, after 9 months, I can definitely say that it's been a joy to use and is highly recommended. If you're after something that's just a little bit larger than your regular EDC, kind of 20 to 25 litres, something that you can put stuff that is safe to carry to work. The laptop is suspended from the bottom, although I've never thrown it on the floor. I certainly wouldn't worry if it was dropped. But you can also put extra stuff in there if you need to see clients, or even if you just want to use this for school, for college, for travel. You can certainly fit in that 25 litre main compartment. You can fit an awful lot into there, and I think this is definitely a pack that you'll be able to pass down to future generations because it's pretty much indestructible. Massive thank you to Able Carry for working with me, especially on that original piece, and getting this bag out to me as well. Yeah, it's awesome. I wish you all the best, especially for future projects that will come out in the future. There will be I have got some links, so if you choose to use those links to no extra cost to yourself, they are affiliate links, so it's just a small kickback that I get towards my channel, which helps me to make future content like this. But all of those links I'll leave in the description below. There'll be some of my social media links in there as well. But as we always do for YouTubers, we get to the point where we say, you know, if you have enjoyed this content at any point, then please, if you'd like to show your appreciation with a like, that would be amazing. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be cool too. And if you share my content, that's apparently even better for the YouTube algorithm. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.